there and welcome back. It's Lisa from Critters'n Ink Designs in Ontario, Canada. And wow, it's a cold -3 Celsius here today and very windy and very snowy. It's not a nice day at all. It's a great day to be hanging out in my little craft room down in the basement, minding my own business. I have been doing quilts all day. It is later in the afternoon and I'm taking a break from quilting. I've been quilting like a madwoman for the last few weeks. Well, the last month and a half, actually. I'm trying to get all my Christmas quilts out and back to my customers so that they can get them bound and delivered or mailed or whatever they have to do with them. So that's what I've been doing. So you haven't seen much of me. With this being a new month, in November, there are some new online exclusive products that came out. Just grab my binder here. I'm going to go down to my desk for half a sec. Some new online exclusives that just came out last week on the 3rd. So a week ago, last Tuesday. Well, I guess, was it this week? So a week ago. I think they came out on the 4th or something like that. So these are the new online exclusives. And you can check these out. These are all available on my online store. You can check it out at crittersandink.com. And there's some really super cute ones. And I have to admit, I probably spent way more than I had planned on. And there's a few more that I really, really would like to get to. But, you know, Christmas is coming. I've got grandkids. I have to pace myself. But I have quite a few of these that I'm going to be sinking my teeth into. And now that I'm getting close to my cutoff date for quilting, I'll be able to spend a little bit more time in my paper craft. I just ordered this cake one yesterday. So I think yesterday. So I can't wait for it to come. I think it's absolutely adorable. And this is like it's going to be a shaped card, so it'll open up like in the shape of a cake. And then I'm looking at this one. This one is called what's it called? Brushed with Beauty. And oh my goodness, it's so pretty. So pretty. And I love the dies. Love the dies. And then also they're coming out with a new 12x12 vellum. So if you recall, the vellum was discontinued last year. I don't know whether they lost the supplier or what, but they're back in stock. But now they're 12x12 instead of 8.5x11, which I like better. And so the suite for the Brushed with Beauty has some really pretty like embellishments. It's got a new embossing folder called Beautiful Pattern. I do have the embossing folder. I can never pass up a really pretty embossing folder. So I'm not going to use it today, but I will dig it out and we will use it. It's got some nice word dies, which I'm a sucker for word dies. And then there's also this new one here called Hobby Haven. And it's got, look at the great dies. Like, ooh, so cute. So I gotta quit looking at this because I just keep spending more and more money. But that's okay. Now, one thing I did get, and I will be using it today, is this banner. What's it called? Banner Sayings Bundle. And it's a 3-banner punch and a bunch of sayings that you can punch out with the banner sayings. And then this friendly, actually I got all 3 of these bundles. The on display bundle is like a bookshelf with all kinds of little stuff that you can put in the bookshelf. And then this one here, Friendly Foliage. I can't wait to use this one. It is beautiful, beautiful. So lots of really cool things in here. Go online and check it out. And for those of you who say, oh, you know, everything's online. Honestly, I obviously have all of the catalogs and I don't even use them. I am so used to shopping online that I just go ahead and I shop online. I'll tell you what I do use the catalogs for, though. Let me just grab my catalog here. Well, here's the Christmas mini. What I do use it for is I will look up, like here I have this this Traditions of Christmas. Oh, not this one. Well, North Pole Delivery. This is the paper that we're going to use today. I did not buy the bundle. I'm second guessing myself. I wish I had. But what you can do, and what I do, is I would buy this just for this little mailbox. I just think that's so stinking cute. But what I do use these catalogs for is to get ideas. There is so much inspiration in the catalogs. And when I am not feeling particularly motivated, it's not the right word, but creative, I guess if I'm not feeling super creative, then this is where I go. I go in and I look at the catalog. Because look at this, the Peace on Earth. I'm going to zoom in maybe a little so you can see. Oh, my zoom. Oh, here we go. So this is the what's it called? Peaceful Garden, the Peaceful Garden suite. And if you recall, this is the suite that we used for the event when was that? In the summer, anyway, I can't remember. But we were able to pre-order this months in advance. So that's one of the perks of being a demonstrator. And I've done a few things with this suite, and I super love it. And then, there's so much inspiration. Like, look at these beautiful cards. Now, when I first saw this paper, I thought, I don't love it. But you know what? These dies are amazing. I haven't ordered them. I've kind of gone way the heck over my budget as it is. But so this is, this is the huge reason why I use the catalog, is to get inspired. Peaceful days, like, oh, so beautiful. So yeah, if you would like a catalog, let me just show you the card I made using this. I am actually doing, oh my gosh, that's tonight. Today's Monday. I'm doing a demonstration tonight in our team meeting, and I'll be making this little shaker card. Isn't that so stinking cute? Cute. Using the branching out. Now, unfortunately, the dies are sold out. I mean, who doesn't love a layering die? So these dies have sold out. I'm not 100% sure when they are coming back into stock. Let me have a little quick peek here. Inventory status. It says the week of November 24th, so that's not bad. Not bad at all. Whoops. So, sorry, I just dropped something on the floor here. So they'll be back in stock in a couple of weeks. And that, they give you that date, but sometimes they come in quicker. So this bundle is amazing. But, you can come in here and get all kinds of really good ideas for, inspiration. So that's why I use my catalogs. I do all my shopping online. So, if you need help setting up your online account, give me a call. I'd be happy to do that for you. If you do want to have a paper catalog, let me know. If you have placed an order with me in the last 6 months, we are putting in our mailer for the January mini catalog. So I'll be doing that this month. If you've placed an order with me in the last 6 months, you will automatically receive the new January mini in the mail. Otherwise, if you have not and you would like one, just let me know, and I would be more than happy to get one to you. So this is the card that we're going to make today. Oh, I want to show you one more thing. I have collaborated with a demonstrator from New York State, and she will be... we will be doing together the 12 Gifts of Christmas starting on Monday, November the 17th at 7 p.m. So every night, Monday to Friday at 7 p.m., we will do 2 projects And then on Saturday morning, we will do our final two projects at 9 o'clock in the morning on the 22nd. So it is $42 Canadian or 35 US. If you live in the US and you would like to do this, please email Verna at vernastamps@gmail.com. Or if you live in Canada, you can certainly email me at crittersinc@gmail.com. Or if you go to my website, sorry, crittersinc.com, you will find a button there with a PayPal link and you can register right online. So I'm looking forward to this. This is my first real online class, and it's my first collaboration with Verna Mullen, and I'm really excited about that. So let's go back to here. And again, this is the card that we're going to make. Isn't that so stinking cute? I had so much fun making this yesterday. So I found this card on a demonstrator. I'm just going to zoom out a little bit. A demonstrator from France. And I had to piddle around with the numbers a little bit because she was using centimeters and I don't use centimeters even though I'm Canadian. I'm still stuck on inches. But isn't that so cute? Oh my goodness. So we're going to make one of these today, and I'm using... I am using the North Pole Delivery Designer Series paper. And as I mentioned earlier, I do not have the bundle. I just ordered the paper because I wasn't sure about the bundle. I have so many Christmas stamps and stuff. And now I'm kind of regretting it. I'm kicking myself thinking, ugh, I should have ordered it. But look at how cute this paper is. Isn't that adorable? I like this guy. We have foxes around here. We see fox quite often, and I just love them. So cute. And then I'm going to be using this designer paper. And as always, our designer series paper, other than the specialty papers, are all double-sided. And in here, there's also 2 sheets. I'm going to pull this whole thing out because I have a feeling I might have a disaster on my hands. We also have 2 sheets of punch-outs. So there's one with little buildings and little mailboxes and stuff like that. And then another one with critters. Look at how cute. So we're going to be using, did I already punch out my bear? Yes. We're going to be using this guy today. And I love this dog. I had a friend who had a dog like this. They actually had 2 of them, 2 big dogs like this. And when I lived in my old house, we had a pool. And she brought them over. She said, would it be okay if I bring my dogs over to do some water physiotherapy because one of them had a bad hip? And I'm like, yeah, sure. Why not? Well, you should have seen the bottom of my pool. There was so much dog hair. It was like a black, it was like black algae, the entire bottom of my pool. And we had a pretty big pool. The entire bottom of my pool was dog hair. And I thought, I was afraid to vacuum it up. I had one of those automatic creepers, that vacuum. And I thought, oh my God, if I run that thing over the dog hair, what's it going to do to my filter and stuff, right? So there's me with a brush and a scoop, trying to scoop out all this dog hair. And I had the kids helping me, but oh my goodness, what a chore to get that hair out of my pool. It was just a disaster. Anyway, okay, so I did this one in basic white with Pool Party, and then I used the what's this called? The Silent Snowfall designer paper. So this designer paper, I don't know if you can see in the shadows there. Yeah, you can see there's like a little embossed snowflakes on it. And so what I did was I just used my brush and a little bit of Pool Party and just gave it a bit of a hint of color there underneath. And then on the inside, I layered it again with the Pool Party and just gave it a quick stamp, and I glued a couple of the little envelopes on the bottom. Isn't that cute? And then today I'm going to do it. This paper has a lot of Very Vanilla and a lot of white. And I don't use Very Vanilla very often, and I actually love the Very Vanilla. So we're going to use Very Vanilla. And the other paper I'm going to use is Poppy Parade. That's one of the coordinating colors for this. If you look at this paper, look at how many coordinating colors are on this. Isn't that crazy? So many. So I decided I'm going to use the Poppy Parade. Nice and Christmassy and bright. So my card base is 7.5 by 7. And I've scored it at 3.5. So my card is going to be 3.5 by 7.5. So 7 by 7.5, and I've scored it at 3.5. Okay, so there's my card base. So let me grab my bone folder. And then my first layer, my Poppy Parade, is 7.25 by 3.25, and that's going to sit here like this. And then my Very Vanilla is 3.125 by 7.125. And that's going to sit on top of my Poppy Parade. But I want to emboss it. And I think I'm going to use the So Swirly, which is in the annual catalog. So I'm going to just run this through my cut and emboss machine. So let me go and grab that. Now this is a regular sized, like a regular embossing folder. It's not a, it isn't a 3D. It's just a regular embossing folder. So what I'm going to use is I'm going to use my number 1, which is my plate, my big plate. Just push this over like this. So I'm going to use my plate number 1. I'm not going to use my number 2 shim, but I am going to use 2 cutting plates, my 2 cutting plates. So I've got my card base down, one of my cutting plates. I'm going to lay that on top of there, and then I'm going to put in my second cutting plate, and then I'm just going to run that through. All right. Okie doke. So, oh, look at how cute that is. Isn't that lovely? Oh, I love it. So let's see. Hopefully I like it when I go to put my things on it. There. That looks really nice. Okay. So I can put that away. I don't need this. Okay, so what I'm going to use is I have the Stampin' Up! Masking paper, and I'm going to grab a hunk of this, a sheet. So I've got a sheet of the masking paper, and I'm going to cut a strip. I'm going to cut like a 1-inch strip. So let's go ahead and do that. So 1 inch. And this masking paper can be a little sticky. So I'm gonna peel the backing. And I'm just going to put it on my t-shirt just to remove a little bit of the sticky, because sometimes it's a little too sticky. There. So I'll just pop that back on the carrier sheet. So what I need to do is, let me take my piece here, and I've got my bear, and I want my bear to be kind of maybe about there, because I need to put a sentiment on there, so I don't want it too low. And then I'm going to take about 7 of these gifts. Now, I probably don't need 7. I use 7 on this one, but this guy already has gifts on here. So let's see. I'm going to just layer. I think I'll put that one behind, because I do like that there. And I'm going to just layer them like this. Like that. Maybe one more. Let's see. Let's use this one. There. Okay. So I have my little list. My list. It's not a list, it's a pile. And I'm going to take my masking paper, and I'm just going to grab them all like that. Okay. There. So now I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to take a piece of linen thread. Now, it doesn't have to be linen thread. You can use like invisible thread or whatever you like. But I have lots of linen thread, so I'm just going to use that. And I'm going to take my bone folder. You see how squirrely it is? See how it's so curly? I'm just going to take my bone folder and just gently go like that. Oh, I got a knot. Never mind. Oh, here we go. There. And that de-squirrelies it. Now it's nice and tame. So let's see. I need about that much. So I am going to grab my scissors. And I'm just going to take some turn tape. And let's see. I'm going to stick that on my masking paper there, because it is sticky. And then I'm just going to take little pieces of the turn tape, and I'm going to put each little present, I'm going to stick the string to each little present so that they're free to move, because you want to keep it interactive. So I'm going to put this down here to keep it from moving too much. There. So, you know, cutting, I had to fussy cut all of these little presents out, but that's okay, because they're just so cute. So cute. And yeah, totally second guessing myself on buying the bundle. I think I should. I'm a sucker for old-fashioned type mailboxes, and I really like the mailbox in there. And it's not too complicated to cut out. And there's also, I think there's like a gift card little box too that you can cut out. All right, so let me see. I want to get There, I put this one too hot. Let's see if this is going to work. I'm going to pop that one right there. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to make sure that this is all really well stuck because I do not want them to get loose. There. Okay, now I'm going to keep this on until we have our card put together. So let's go ahead and pop this card together. So I have a piece of tear and tape here that I don't need. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this Poppy Parade to my card base. Oh, I have a feeling this is empty. It is empty. I even had it standing upside down, but all right, so this is almost empty too. I have to refill it. Okay, so I'm going to pop that right on here. Okay, so next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out where on here I need to punch my holes. So I'm going to grab a pencil and so I need to put a hole. Oh, I want this higher. I want this up here. So I need to put a hole kind of right there. Is that going to work? No, it needs to be a little higher. So right there. So I've made a little mark where I'm going to punch a hole right there. And then under my bear, same thing. I'm going to lift up my bear and I want the hole to be about here. Okay, so let me grab my punch. And I'm going to go ahead and punch. Now this is just a 1/8 of an inch punch. And then I'm going to go in here. Woo, just made it. And pop a hole there as well. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pop my string through here. And I'm going to pull that nice and tight. And I'm going to take the tear and tape again. Take a couple of pieces. So I have that nice and snug. And I'm going to pop that on there. Make sure it's well stuck to the string. And then down here as well. And then I'm going to pop the bear's string through, but first I want to, I'm going to pop some dimensionals onto my bear. I need a sheet of big dimensionals. I only have our little ones. Here we go. All right, so I'm going to pop a couple of large dimensionals on the bottom of the bear, like this. And I'm going to center him. Okay, I've got my string here. Make sure he's pretty centered. And then same thing, I'm going to tape my twine to the card like this. Got a little string happy there. Okay, so now I can go ahead and glue this to the front of my card. So let's go ahead and do that. Now this is embossed, so I'm going to be really generous with my glue. And I'm going to pop some on the string too, because I don't want it to give up the ghost on me at some point. I know that tear and tape is pretty strong and resilient, but why tempt fate, right? Okay, I have a ton of glue on there, and I'm going to go ahead and center that right on the Poppy Parade. This looks like I have a little piece of, like a pencil mark there. No, it's not pencil. I don't know what it is. It's fine. Okay, so now I can peel off my masking paper and keep this so that you can use it again and again. It'll get a little bit less sticky, but that's okay. It'll still stick enough for you to do like the next card. It doesn't want to stick to its paper. Maybe I have it on the wrong side. Oh, it doesn't matter. Okay, so here we go. So there's our, maybe, I think I put my string a little too tight. There, I loosened it. That's better. So isn't that cute? Ugh. I just think it's so adorable. I think my string might be a little too tight. There. That is so cute. So, so, so cute. I love it. There. Okay. So now we need a sentiment. So I have a piece of Very Vanilla here. And I also have the new banner sayings in the new packaging. Isn't that cool? And this is part of the online exclusives that I just showed you. And there is a matching coordinating punch that goes with it. So you can buy one or the other or both. And if you buy both together, you save 10%. So that's nice. You always get a bundled saving of 10%. So on here, there isn't anything that's particularly Christmassy. So I'm going to use Wishing You Good Things. So let's grab that out of here. No, excuse me. What I did in here was I put some tear and tape at the back here of my stamp set. I'm not 100% sure whether this is the way I'm going to do it from going forward. I may or may not, but what I did was I stamped all of the stamps on this side. I put this on with tear and tape, and then I took off this layer, inked it up, and then stamped it. And this way I will always know if I'm missing a stamp. So, and then I just keep this like this, keep my little cover on it, and then I just store them in the envelope like that. So let's go ahead and grab Wishing You Good Things. And I need a block. And I need Poppy Parade. Poppy Parade, Poppy Parade. There you are. Ooh, look. Ick. Man alive. I'm glad it didn't fall on my card. That would have been something else. I'm going to grab a baby wipe here. All right, so I've got a piece of Very Vanilla here. So let's go ahead and stamp our little greeting there. Okay. All right, so let's see. I'm going to use, I want it this way. Let's see, let's see. There we go. All right. So let's see here. We can put wishing you good things. We could do it like that. Or like that. Or like that. Why don't we put this on dimensionals and we'll put it just at the bottom. I think it's super cute. Okay. There. Oh my gosh, how cute is that? So cute. Okay, so now for the inside, I'm going to need another piece of Poppy Parade. That is 7, let me look at my notes here, 7 1/4 by 3 1/4. So let's pop this out. So 7 1/4 by 3 1/4. And I need a piece of Very Vanilla that is 7 1/8 by 3 1/8. So let's do 3 1/8. By 7 1/8. All right, and then for the inside, on the other one, I used the Holly Jolly, which is a really cute little set. And let's do, so on the outside we have wishing you good things. So on the inside, we could just do Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. So Merry Christmas is 2 words because you have the option. You can do like Merry Christmas or Happy Christmas or bright and happy. Oh, why don't we use bright and happy Christmas wishes? I like that one. Let's use that one. So bright and happy Christmas wishes is right here. Now I'm going to pop this. I want this about here. But I'm going to use my stamping platform. So I'm going to use my Stamparatus. I'm going to pop it here and grab my magnets. All right, so where did I put my stamp? Here it is. Okay, so I've got my stamp, bright and happy. And I think that's straight, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick it up. And I have just a piece of window sheet here, and I've put a piece of tape here so I don't lose it. I'm going to lay my window sheet right over my cardstock. And I always do this because, you know, I don't always stamp the straightest. Oh, you know what? This is a new stamp. I haven't cleaned it yet. Let me give it a quick clean. Always clean your new stamps because they could have manufacturer's residue on them, and you want to make sure that they're nice and clean. I'm just going to dry mine off because you don't want your ink wet with water. All right, so let me go ahead and stamp that up. Is that straight? Do it again because I moved that over. I don't know whether it's centered. So let's try that again. So it isn't centered. I don't know if you can see with the glare. See, it's over, like, it's not over far enough there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move my cardstock over a little bit. Okay, so now I can try again. Now I went too far, so I'm going to move it back. Still not. Let's see. That's better. So let's go ahead and stamp it again and see if it's straight. And it is. So I know that I'm okay to go ahead and stamp that. So let's give that a quick clean. There. So this again, it's just a piece of window sheet with some washi tape on it. So let me go ahead and ink this up. Ooh, get on there. Okay. I'm going to ink it up. And for me, I find it better to lightly stamp and have to stamp the second time, because you want to keep it nice and crisp. If you load it up with ink and then you smash it down and really press hard, this is a very fine little stamp. It's going to distort the stamp and it's not going to be crisp. So for me, it's better just to do a couple of stamps and do it lightly, and it keeps the crispness. So now I've got that. Now another thing I want to do is I'm going to grab this little holly. Do I want the holly or do I? Yeah, I'm going to grab the holly. I love holly. My neighbors have a beautiful holly bush in their front yard. I love it. Love it, love it. All right, so I'm just going to pop my holly there. I'm going to clean this before in case it's shifted a bit. There. So that one's clean. I'm going to pick up my holly. And ink it up. Now I'm going to take this one off here because I have a feeling it's shifted. And I do not want to have an echo. Now you can see I have ink on here. I'm going to wipe that up just because, why tempt fate? Because the way my day's been going, I could easily have ink on everything. So let's go ahead and press that down. One stamp is perfect. I don't need to go over it a second time. It is beautiful. All right, so there's the inside of our card. I'm going to clean this before I forget. And put that in here where it goes. I've gotten in the habit of putting my stamps right away as soon as I'm finished using them, because I don't know if you're aware, but photopolymer stamps stick to everything. And I do mean everything. One time, I bet you for 2 weeks for a stamp. And I knew it was here somewhere. I was praying that I hadn't thrown it in the garbage, because I've done that too. And I have 2 trimmers like this. And I went and grabbed the other trimmer. And it wouldn't sit proper, like it was wobbly, and I thought, what the heck is wrong with this thing? So then I flipped it over, and lo and behold, there was my stamp stuck to the bottom of it. All right, so I still have a bunch of these little mail things, these little packages. So let's go ahead and glue a couple to the bottom of this card. There. Isn't that cute? So let's go ahead and do that. Got my little glue bottle here. I'm going to have to fill this guy up today. Oops. Oh my goodness. I almost had him upside down. Okay, and I'm going to put him right there. Last one. There. Oh, how cute. Okay, so we're going to pop this onto our piece of Poppy Parade. Like this. Come on. There we go. All right, and then that is going to go into the center of our card. Now for an envelope, we don't have, now you can use like a business envelope. That is a Slimline, I think, more or less. And years ago, a few years ago, Stampin' Up! Did have some Slimline envelopes, and I do have a few of those still kicking around. But if you don't have anything like that, I did do a video on how to create your own envelopes to support whatever card you're doing. So why don't I grab a piece of two-sided cardstock, like two-tone cardstock, and I'll show you how to do that. I do have Poppy Parade. I was going to do it in basic beige, but why not do it in Poppy Parade? I don't have very much of this two-tone of the Poppy Parade left. I'm going to have to order some more. But you can see it's two-tone, so you have the dark one and the light one. So this card is 7.5 inches, right? The biggest width is 7.5 inches. So what I need is a piece of this two-tone cardstock that is 8.5. So you take whatever size your card is and add 1 inch. So let's grab my trimmer. So I'm going to cut a piece that's 8.5 by 8.5. So here we go. 8.5. By 8.5. All right. So the next thing I'm going to do is line up. I'm going to put it on the diagonal. And I'm going to lay my card. I'm going to center it as well as I can. So I want like my 4 corners to be fairly equal, like as equal as you can, right? So that looks pretty good. So now I'm just gonna gently fold this up. Oh, actually I want the dark on the outside. Let me flip it over. There, let me do that again. Let's see. That's looking pretty good, I think. So let me just grab a ruler. I just want to see if I'm somewhat even. So there's my 0. So this goes to 2.25. Oh, look at that. And 2.25. Okay, so it's pretty even going this way. So I'm just gonna fold this over, but I'm not gonna go snug because this is a thick card. You're gonna want to have some wiggle room in there. So let me go ahead and bend it over like that. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the sides. So I'm going to give it a fold over, but I'm not going to be like super snug on there. So, because I need to have enough room, you know, when I get it in there, that it's going to be comfortable. You don't want to smother the poor thing. So there's that. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Make sure I'm still lined up here. And then I'm just going to gently Give him lots of room. Okay, so now I have kind of made my card base. So now I'm going to fold this over, and I'm just going to press my lines, because what I want to do is I'm going to cut out these little triangles. So let me go ahead and press these like this. Okay, and I'm just going to cut out these little crisscross corners here just to remove some of the bulk. Doesn't have to be perfect. It's going to be on the inside. And you know what? Honestly, my triangles are not the same size. Now, if you have a Stampin' Up! Or a Memory Keeper's envelope board, by all means use that. I do have one of those, but if you, and I could have used it, but if you don't have one, this really helps. Now again, my little corners, none of them are even, and that's okay. So now when I put my sides together, when I put it like this together, I have this great big triangle here. So what I want to do is I'm going to take a pencil and I'm just going to make a mark kind of right here where this overlaps to here. And I'm going to pop this in my trimmer. And I'm just going to snip that off. So I've got my folded edge at the bottom here. And I'm going to, well, let me do it at the top and then you'll be able to see it. So I've got my folded edge here to give me like a straight edge, and I'm lining up my pencil mark with my blade on my trimmer. And so when I put it together now, this is going to sit like this, and then this is going to come down like this, but I still have my this tip overhanging, and I don't want that. So let me go ahead and I'm just going to cut off about an inch. So I've got my 1 inch mark here. I have this lined up, and I'm just going to cut off about an inch. I can always cut off more if I want to, if I decide that that's kind of not, you know, not where I wanted it to be. But that looks okay. Is it straight? Nope. So let me straighten that out. I think it's not straight because my two corners are a little bit lopsided, but that's okay. So I'm going to how am I going to straighten this out? Let me do it this way. So if I line this up, you can see here that it is a little bit crooked. So I'm going to push this up to here. And I'm going to line up this corner with this line, and this has to come off to about there. So let me just line that up a little bit. There. That's better. Nice and straight. Okay. So why don't we put this envelope together? So I've got my tear and tape somewhere. Here it is. So I'm just going to put a bit of tear and tape along here. And again on this side, put some tear and tape. Oops. I'll just grab my take a pick tool, and I'm going to release the carrier paper here. And I'm just going to fold that up. Now, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my card in first, just to make sure that my envelope isn't going to be too tight. So, okay. There we go. Okay, and there we have our envelope. So this is going to go in like this, and then this is going to fold over like that. Isn't that cute? So what you can do too, let me grab my holly that I had earlier. Oh, it's here. Looking right at it. So I've got my holly, and I'm going to use my Poppy Parade onto the Poppy Parade. Now I've got a card in there. I'm going to take it out. And I'm just going to pop that on there like that. And maybe one at the back. And then on the front, we still have a few of these envelopes, so we can go ahead and pop a couple of these onto here, like this. Why not? Super cute. Now the opening of my envelope, I haven't done this for a long time, so it is a little crooked. I would practice with some copy paper maybe and figure out your placement, because I've never had one crooked like that before. So there we go. So you can see here it's a little bit not even across, but you know what, it's an envelope, it's going to go in the garbage. That doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me at all. So that's my envelope. So here's my card. Here's my envelope. Here's my other card that I made with the pool party. So cute. Oh, love it. Okay. So there's my cards for the day. Thank you for spending some time with me this afternoon. I really, really appreciate it. Don't forget, if you haven't already subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Please give me a like. I really could use the thumbs ups. And I am trying to hit 1,000 subscribers between now and the end of the year. So if you wouldn't mind, if you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. I would love it. Thanks. Have a super evening. Stay out of the cold, and we'll see you soon. Bye for now.